what I wanted to share with you is, as a trichologist, what I usually see a lot of is I'll have women, they may be thin, they may be thick, they may be heavy, they may be dealing with high blood pressure, they may be on a calcium channel blocker, they may be on a diuretic. What I want to share with you all is when you are having problems with blood flow, blood pressure, if you have clients, because a lot of times people who will visit with clients are on blood pressure medications or they're having blood pressure issues, it can and it will affect hair growth. Like I share often, all the time, if there's anything out of balance in the body ever, your hair will always pay the price, and your hair will always be the first, thing letting you know, good morning, Miss Cheryl, how are you? Your hair will be the first place to tell you, it'll be the first barometer of health to see that something's going on. So your body will share through the quality of your hair that something is off. Proper blood flow is needed in order to have great hair growth. One of the first things I like to share is it is vital, it is necessary. When you don't have good blood flow, your hair will not grow well. It will fall out, it'll get thin, it'll break. The quality of your hair, it'll get rough, it'll get dry because the blood flow is not happening. One of the other things that I share most often all the time is you need oxygen. Has anyone ever gotten like tired, weighed down, they didn't have a lot of energy because their iron levels were low? Let me know, because I know I'm not the only person who has dabbled in anemia. Oh, Gilder, oh my goodness, just get to the point. Oh, you are nasty. Oh, medicated and had to have iron or transfusion, because I'm trying to get to a point, because I know a lot of you guys may not be near your phone, so I do often repeat myself. Okay, you said you just got a blood transfusion. So what I want to share is hair also needs oxygen. When your iron levels are low, that means your hemoglobin will be low. When your hemoglobin is low, there also aren't enough red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the rest of your body. Often that will result in a situation where you are dehydrated, because if you have to get a transfusion, that means your hemoglobin is drastically low. You need help because you're not able to digest or internalize or assimilate iron into your bloodstream, so you have to get a transfusion. Something is off in the body where you would have to get a transfusion. Usually when that happens, red blood cell health is affected. You often need B vitamins, because B vitamins such as cobalamin, B1, B3, B5, B7, B9, you need your B vitamins to help you with red blood cell health, because if there are not enough red blood cells throughout the body, they can't carry oxygen through the rest of the scalp. They can't carry oxygen to the rest of the body, and it may affect your blood pressure because it will result in you having low blood pressure. So the Well Beauty Studio says, with my background as a birth worker, we do see it with our pregnant mamas. We recommend our supplements. Yes, ma'am. And I as well. When I encounter my ladies who have had transfusions, who are having some maybe low blood pressure, blood issues, anemia, this is all encompassing. It's all important. And I know I repeat myself. I had to just mute the young lady who had that little comment, because I'm not doing that today. Yes, I repeat myself a lot, but a lot of times people are jumping in every 5 minutes, and sometimes they'll ask me, well, what did you just say? What are we talking about today? So I just wanted to kind of just get your opinion on that. When we don't have good blood flow, it will sometimes show up in our hair. Our hair will get thin. The quality of our hair will start to go down, because if we're not getting blood flow, if we're not getting oxygen, the hair cannot thrive. We cannot thrive. If you were in a pool and you set yourself underwater and you sat there for 6 minutes and you didn't get any oxygen, you are very close to death. If you happen to get in a situation where you possibly drown, you drown because you're not getting oxygen. That is the same thing that happens to the body. When the body is not getting oxygen for a number of reasons, it will affect you. So that's why I'm sharing all of this, because I want you all to understand how important blood flow is to the scalp. if you all are taking high blood pressure medication, if you're taking amlodipine or one of the other ones, taking a calcium channel blocker, if you're taking a diuretic, it will affect how your hair grows. So again, what I'm trying to share is blood flow needs to be unencumbered. It needs to be rich and full of oxygen. It also needs to be thin and slippery. When our blood is very thick, that's why we have strokes. That's why we have problems. That's why we're all put on blood thin to get very, very thick. It causes the blood to have, it will cause the blood to a lot of lectins. A lot of lectins make the blood thick. The blood won't be able to carry around a lot of oxygen, and the blood is kind of, because blood is a tissue, the blood kind of get inflamed. That's why the blood will get thick. When the blood is not slippery, it causes problems for the entire body. What will also happen is your body will hold on to sodium. It will hold on to all of the water that you take into the body, and that will cause you to have a higher than normal blood pressure. When you also have high blood pressure, your blood vessels will constrict. In certain instances, they will constrict and they will dilate. This is never going to cause a good outcome for your hair. When all of these dynamics are occurring, this is why we have thinning hair. This is why the hair eventually begins to thin. This is why the hair begins to fall out. This is why we have so many issues when blood flow is affected. So TikTok, I have this little thing here because today I'm talking about blood flow and scalp health. On Instagram, you guys can't see it because I'm not able to put that on thing here, because today I'm talking about blood flow and scalp health. On Instagram, you guys can't see it because I'm not able to put that on my the top of my head. But this whole session today is about blood flow and how important it is to scalp health. Also, what I want to share with you is we talked about how when you're dehydrated, you need to have sufficient levels of iron. You need to have your B vitamins. You need to have that because you will become dehydrated. When you're dehydrated, there's not enough, let's just say, blood volume to carry you and to help you feel good and to help you get through your daily life. What happens is, because your blood volume is too low, because your iron levels are too low and your red blood cells are too low, you're not getting enough B vitamins, you're not getting enough iron. What happens is you're dehydrated because there's not enough blood flow. When there are not enough red blood cells and not enough iron, you do not have the blood volume to run through your body. This is why your hair tends to get thin over time. So I tell everyone, when you're low on iron and you're low on vitamin B, you're dehydrated. And the way I'm able to uncover that is through your blood type testing, through your CBCs, and when you come in for an evaluation, I'm able to tell if you're dehydrated. But this affects blood flow. I understand. I'm just trying to just drop small gems each week, because when you guys write into me, when you see things on my timeline, you see my reels, you see my stories, you see anything that I post, you'll say, well, why is it? Why is it? How do I correct it? This is why I'm here each week, just to share little small gems. So again, this week is about blood flow. One of the other things that I see a lot in our community is high amounts of cholesterol. When we're having a problem with blood flow, one of the other things that happens is there is an incredible amount of cholesterol in the bloodstream. When we're having issues with blood flow and there's an amazing amount of cholesterol in the bloodstream, that means there's less and less blood available for the body in general. When the body has to do the most because of things, metabolic issues that you're encountering, such as high cholesterol, it's going to forego hair because it's trying to help you take care of your body. Your body can't do everything. It can't help you walk, talk, chew gum, carry you through stressful situations. It can't do all of it. It can't protect your immune system. It can't help you with your blood flow when you're loaded with cholesterol in your arteries. It's going to eventually combine with calcium, because calcium goes in to repair and fill in those nicks in the arteries. Between the cholesterol and between the calcium, the blood vessels get smaller and smaller and smaller, and there's less and less and less and less available for you and your hair. So what is the body going to do? It's going to say, okay, hair, we're going to push you over to the side right now. We're not trying to help you grow. We're trying to help her not have a stroke. We're trying to help her take care of whatever else she needs to take care of. Hair, you're just going to have to wait. You're going to have to go sit over there until she can correct this and get this together. That's basically what the body says to the hair. That's basically what the body says to the hair when you're dealing with calcium and cholesterol in the blood flow in your arteries. Your body is not worried about making no hair, which is why over time you start seeing thinner and thinner hair. Another thing that happens is stress. So let me just share momentarily how stress encumbers blood flow. When we are stressed, as I said, either our arteries and veins are going to dilate or they're going to constrict. When we're going through a stressful period, a lot of the times the body will secrete cortisol. It'll help us with adrenaline so that we can go through a fight or flight response. So to help us deal with an emergency quickly, it's going to forego oxygen to a lot of the extremities, like the arms and the legs. The body is going to conserve blood flow just for the core so that you can deal with your stressful situation. In the meantime, guess what suffers? Everything furthest away from the heart. The scalp will suffer, the fingers, the toes, everything else will suffer because it needs blood flow right here. But when you're going through stressful periods over, you're dealing with repeated cortisol surges over and over. Your husband's getting on your nerves. Your kids are getting on your nerves. Work is getting on your nerves. You're unsatisfied with your life. You're dealing with past traumas. And you have high cholesterol. And you have nerves. You're unsatisfied with your life. You're dealing with past traumas. And you have high cholesterol. And you have improper blood flow. And you have high blood pressure. This is why we suffer with thinning hair. And we have high blood pressure, heart, cardiac issues. We're on 3 or 4 different medications. This is why hair takes a back seat. So on Instagram, the Well Beauty Studio says the blood becomes heavy, thick, viscous. Imagine trying to suck honey compared to apple juice through a straw. We are stressing our body, and this is good stuff I'm teaching. Yay, thank you. I thank you for your approval. So this is what I'm trying to share with you, everyone. So Mama Dukes, you said I'm lagging. I tried to put this on Wi-Fi and it's still lagging. And I'm sorry. This is what happens sometimes when I'm here trying to do my streams. And I'm sorry if you said it's lagging. I'll try to go back to 5G. So just give me a second. So hopefully that'll help in a second since you said it's lagging. So I hope you guys are understanding how important blood flow is the whole way around when it comes to having proper iron and B vitamins in your body. When you're having low levels of iron, that can cause you to be dehydrated. Your levels of blood will be low because your blood volume will be low, especially if you do not drink enough water. It's going to stress out your kidneys. When your kidneys are stressed out, that is really going to affect your blood flow because you're dehydrated. You're not drinking enough water. This will also cause issues for blood flow and for heart and cardiac function. So you guys, I want you to understand how important blood flow is to having great hair health. You have to take care of your body. If it's at all possible, work on trying to reduce your blood pressure medication and eventually maybe get off of it and include things in your life, if your doctor will allow, that will help you in addition to what it is that you're taking. Some physicians will allow you to take things like magnesium. They'll allow you to take things like grapeseed oil and things that will help support what it is you're taking. Some of them won't like you to take it at all because it may affect how well the medication will take care of your needs. But what I'm trying to share with you is try to figure out ways to help your blood flow, improve your blood flow, because it's going to help your hair. And that's why I'm here. I'm worried about all things hair. Whatever you can do, whatever I can help you do through suggestions to help you with your hair, that's why I'm here. So we talked about iron levels, vitamin B, and having proper blood volume. We talked about cholesterol. We talked about stress and how vasoconstriction means there's less and less blood for the entire body. The body's going to conserve that blood flow just for the core. It's not going to send blood to other places that need it because you're going through a stressful event over and over and over again. It's just going to save that blood right for the core. So your fingers and toes and your hair may not get that blood flow. So some other things that will help happen in addition to vasoconstriction. Oh, good morning, APOS Strikology. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some other things that I wanted to talk about when I said that some other additional things that will happen, just like the Well Beauty Studio talked about, thick blood. So we need to make sure that we're working on not having very thick blood. How can we do that? We have to monitor what it is that we eat. If you can, pick up the Eat Right for Your Type. A lot of people that I follow do not agree with eating for your blood type. I myself do. After I read the book and I understand how more and more lectins cause the blood to be very thick and less viscous, I understood the premise of why the naturopathic doctor talks about eating for your type. When you're eating foods that don't cause inflammation in the bloodstream, the blood won't become so viscous and so thick. If you guys didn't understand that or realize that, having thick blood is one of the leading things that causes strokes. So when your blood is a lot slippery, when you're eating foods that are more alkaline and more neutral for your blood type, it's better for you because it reduces inflammation in the bloodstream. So Miss Katisha said, good morning. I was diagnosed with alopecia areata and I was having the steroid injections to help. And I understand. If you can, try including a trichologist in just to help you with some of the concerns that your body is having. Even though you're visiting with your derm handles things on a dermal level. They're giving you things such as intralesional steroid shots. They're helping you topically. But if you can, find a trichologist to help you with the internal part of you and helping you improve your wellness so that you can have fewer and fewer breakouts of alopecia areata. That will be a big help. And if there's anything that I can do to support you in your journey, please let me know. I do understand that the topical oils may or may not be any help. I get it. If you do want someone that can just provide a little bit of insight and be able to help you naturally, herbally, nutritionally, please let me know. I'm always just a phone call away. All you have to do is hit my little picture here, visit my profile, tap the links in the profile, scroll down, look for the 15-minute option to meet with me, and we can converse about how I can assist you in your journey. And I work virtually. You said you're in South Carolina. I work virtually. So it doesn't matter if you're sitting next to me or if you're a couple states away from me. Yes, I do have practitioners in South Carolina, but you just let me know. I could refer you to a practitioner in the South Carolina area, or either I could assist you myself. So you just let me know. So yes, Miss APOS Strikology, this was my sister from another mister. Yes, she said, me too. And she said, eating for my blood type changed my life and my body. Yes, ma'am. Yes. And I can tell you more about the StreamYard a little bit later. I couldn't connect today. It was, I'm having some issues with my Wi-Fi and my computer, so I couldn't connect on StreamYard today. So Miss Jones, good morning. And you said, okay, we'll do. I'm here for you if you need. I'm just a phone call and a tap of the link away. So again, everybody, talking today about blood pressure, blood flow, blood volume, being dehydrated, blood pressure issues, cholesterol, diuretics. The next thing I wanted to talk about is diuretics. Now, one of the many things that happens when we become stressed out, because I talked about stress earlier, is the release of something called aldosterone in the body. That's just going to happen as a consequence of us being stressed and us being in a stressful situation. What occurs is aldosterone will cause you to hold on to sodium. When we hold on to sodium as a result of us being stressed, it's going to increase blood volume. When we increase blood volume, that's a lot more for the body to carry around. So it increases blood pressure. This is why when we're stressed out, it often increases blood pressure. Now, like I said earlier, when we're constantly stressed out because we have a litany of things that we're going through day in and day out, women that get on our nerves, men that get on our nerves, spouses that get on our nerves, our kids, we're taking care of parents at home, we have family issues, we have trauma that we haven't gotten over, and as soon as we see the person or we hear something that remotely reminds us of that incident, we're triggered. The trauma and the stress will cause us to release aldosterone. This will cause us to hold on to sodium, hold on to more water in the body. It increases our blood pressure. Having higher than normal blood pressure, as I've said earlier, everyone, is not good for the body. When the body is dealing with stress, high blood pressure, medication, diuretics, calcium channel blockers, it's going to cause a losing situation for your hair. So the Well Beauty Studio said, okay, I think one of our problems is that our culture has gotten accustomed to bandage time solutions that we can just apply an oil or cream to issue. We have been has gotten accustomed to bandage time solutions that we can just apply an oil or cream to issue. We have been made to believe that the way out and what we eat does not affect us. Exactly. So if you guys understood anything that I shared today, is we have to understand that how we live causes issues for blood flow. Medications cause an issue for our hair. Stress causes an issue for high blood pressure. And how we manage our lives, what we eat, causes issue for our high blood pressure. It causes issues for everything. Everything affects hair. Today, I was only touching the surface about blood flow and scalp health. But everything literally affects how well our hair performs. And when we're having any challenges with our hair, when it's growing thin across the top here, when we're losing hair in spots, when the quality of our skin changes from lupus, when it becomes inflamed, when we have dandruff, everything affects us and is visible on our skin, on our scalp. Hair fall is a visible symptom of something internal going on. So I hope this made sense to you guys today, because I didn't really want to stay here to just talk you to death. My sole goal this week was just to talk about blood flow and scalp health, how it affects you, and how you can find more information in my book, The 5 Hidden Reasons Your Hair is Thinning. So I hope you guys understood what I was putting down. I love saying that because I got that from Myron Golden. He says, are you picking up what I'm putting down? If you guys can, let me know some of the things that I mentioned today that affects blood flow, just so I know that you guys are still here, you're following, you got it. I just want to know that somebody was listening, because it's my goal to just serve one person today. TA Diva, you said you had to switch your blood pressure pills. You had no idea that lisinopril was so bad and you let it go for too long. Yes, Mimi, you said blood pressure. Miss TA Diva, I applaud you for being aware of your situation and understanding that you need to make some changes. So you said you have scarring alopecia. Okay, I understand. I do. So let me know if you guys can just put in the chat, mention some of the things that interrupt, affects, and causes blood flow issues. Put it in the chat, because I just want to make sure that you guys just got one thing from the live today. Thank you so much, Well Beauty Studio. I do my humble best, and I'm here each week just to reach one person. I really appreciate that. So just let me know if you guys can just let me know one thing that you took away from blood flow and scalp health today. Let me know if any of you are still in the room that were here from the beginning. Anemia, yes. Okay. Be Trillionaire, you said you just tuned into the live. Thank you. What to take to calm down stress? Well, okay. TikTok is probably going to ding me, but I'm not going to put the name up. But one of the things that I recommend to a lot of my ladies is CBD gummies and or ashwagandha, rhodiola, anything that is great for the adrenals and adrenal health. But Pisces Queen said diuretics. Yes, diuretics. When you're taking them as a blood pressure aid, that is one of the things that will eventually cause you to have thinning hair. So, Cherie, let me know if you got that. If you need more information about that, I can send it to you a little bit later, but I don't want TikTok to ding me and not show my live, because when I talk about things that I don't have in my shop that you can't get on TikTok, they will ding you because they want you to stay on the platform. They don't want you sharing products that people can get outside and off of TikTok. So yes, the Well Beauty Studio said low iron and B, because that will cause a problem with your blood volume. When your blood volume is too low, your blood pressure is going to be very low, which is not going to be great for your hair. When you're often anemic for a long time, it may cause you to have thinning hair, a lack of hair density. So let me know someone else, because I know the Well Beauty Studio got it. So Libby T 217. We were talking about blood flow, scalp health, and different things that interfere with blood flow, which eventually causes issues for hair growth, thinning hair, hair fall, effluvium, and scalp health. So I know you're a little late to the party, but I'm just asking if everybody could just put in what they got from today's live stream. So, little bit, you said little bit. So anyone else? Can you talk about, hello, beautiful textures, how are you? So let me know if anybody else can share what they got from today's live stream. One of the many things that I want to talk about is evaluate if you have problems with cholesterol, because cholesterol will eventually cause issues for your arteries in your veins, because they will leave a lot of plaque, they will leave a lot of debris, and the smaller and smaller and smaller your blood vessels get, the less blood there is available for your axillary, armpits, your legs. Because a lot of my women have said to me, oh, the hair under my arms, the hair on my legs has gotten thinner to the point I don't even have any more hair there anymore. Because blood flow is a problem the more mature we get. Blood flow becomes a problem the older we get. So when blood flow is hampered, it's slowed down, you're going to see less and less hair in certain places. Yes. So, oh yeah, the vibration plate is great. My esthetician uses a vibration plate in her salon, because I have an esthetician and she uses the vibration plate for a lot of her services as well. So yes, eyebrows, you will eventually start seeing eyebrow problems when you have a lack of blood flow. So Mama Duke's Nizoral is excellent if you have issues with yeast and fungus and dandruff and pityriasis, scale and flake on the scalp. That is excellent. But my bigger question for you is, if you need to use Nizoral, what are you doing to fix the issue? Because that yeast and that fungus is traveling through your bloodstream. That's why you need Nizoral. So tell me, how are you going to fix that issue? If you need some help, I have a gut guide. All you have to do is tap the link in my bio and you can get and download my free gut guide, because you asking about Nizoral lets me know that either you're using it or you're about to go buy it. I want you to fix the problem so you don't need the Nizoral. So T Diva, TDA Diva, I have plenty of products on my website. All you have to do is go to the link in the bio, go to the website, look for the store, or either just look for the store link. I have plenty of products available for alopecia, but my goal is not to sit here and talk about alopecia products. What I want to ask you is, are you fixing the problem that's causing alopecia? Do you know why you have alopecia? Are you fixing your internal issues and concerns that are prompting your body to give you alopecia? I'm not a big product junkie. As far as what you can use for the outside, my goal is helping you all understand some of the contributors in the quality of our life that is promoting hair and scalp health. So Beautiful Texture said, just fine. It looks like I missed good information. When will you go live again? I'm actually here every Sunday. I just started a new scholarship program. This is cohort 1. They just joined. We will be here every week at 8 o'clock, my cohort, we meet in our groups from 9 to 10. That's for beauty professionals who join the scholarship program. They're going to be our newest hair loss practitioners in 12 weeks, but we are here every single Sunday at 8 a.m. I try not to miss a week. I was only late today because I had to meet with my scholarship winners to talk about when they were going to meet. So I'm sorry that you missed it, but I usually always drop, whenever I do a live, I usually kind of take cuts and pieces away from the live and post it on Instagram each week. But please, if you're not following us already, just follow us, and hopefully when I go live on Sunday, you won't miss it. But I'm here every single week at 8, God willing. If he sees to allow me to wake up, I'm gonna be here every single week at 8. I was committed to doing that for 2026. So I just want to answer all of these questions on TikTok. Mama Duke said, I don't know, I'm stressed out. Well, I will say this, Mama Dukes. It's not that you don't know that you're stressed out. Women, we get used to handling stress. Every woman, I'm going to tell you two things that each woman tells me when they visit me for a trichological exam and a scalp exam. Each woman says, I got a good diet, I eat good. And the second thing they always say is, I'm not stressed out. But yet they're losing hair in their hormonal zone, and they're suffering the effects of cortisol surges, HPA axis mishaps. I know women are stressed out. It's just how we deal with it, how we internalize it, and what are our coping mechanisms? Do we bury it? Do we just pop off and tell everybody how we feel when we're stressed? How are we managing the stress? So you may not know that you're stressed out. That's even if you're handling stress. But a lot of us don't even realize that we're stressed. And that stress causes vasoconstriction. It will cause the blood vessels to get smaller and smaller and smaller. This leaves less and less blood flow for your scalp. So that's why I'm here just talking about it. So let me go through and answer all of these before I leave. So you said there's so much to learn, wishing I could have gotten this knowledge years ago. And I understand when we catch it, we catch it. The student has to be ready before the teacher can appear. Even if you had heard some of this information years ago, you probably wouldn't have listened. And I don't mean no shade. We're ready when we're ready. I have been a hairstylist. I'm going on 57 in a couple weeks. I have literally been a hairstylist since I was 17. There were things I was telling my clients 20 years ago. They just weren't ready to hear it. Now, half of my client base has lost their hair because they didn't listen. They would not let me in because they felt, oh, I don't want you to know about my life. I don't want you to know about what's on my CBC. I don't want you to know about my medications. And yet now they're coming to me because they have no hair. So at some point, some of our clients, some of our friends, some of us, we're not willing to listen to things at some point. It's later we'll say, oh, I wish someone had told me. But would you have listened? That's why I'm dedicated to being here now, so that I can help my women in any way I can. So I appreciate you even sharing that, because I hear that all the time. So that girl said, what blood work do you recommend to get to the root of the problem? So what I recommend, I'm going to pin this and then I'm going to jump over to Instagram and answer some of their questions. So that girl said, what blood work do you recommend to get to the root of the problem? Thank you for asking that, because what I always recommend is, everyone, if you're having issues with your hair growth, the one thing you should do is get your own personal treatment plan. Because if you just look at stuff you see on Instagram and you just picking up the newest fad, and you're looking at stuff you've seen on YouTube and Botana oils without really analyzing, well, what does my body need? What am I going through? What do I need? So one of the first things you should do is get a blood test for everyone. What I recommend is that you get a CBC with a differential. Your CBC is going to give you things about all of your red blood cells, your white blood cells. It's going to tell you about your iron, possibly get your vitamin D checked. If you can get your A1C, if you can get your endocrine panels, like your reverse T3, your T3, your T4, if you can get your fasting insulin levels. Because for me as a trichologist, what I am most concerned with is, what is your fasting insulin? Because if you're having a problem processing your blood sugar, you're going to have problems all day. So there are just some things that are pertinent to me. So if those things are something that you can include in your CBC, that's what you should take to your trichologist or to your hair loss practitioner so that they can evaluate it and put it into a functional blood chemistry analysis. Also, if you're having problems with your immune system, you have rheumatoid arthritis, you have lupus, you have alopecia areata, or you have some concerns with your immune system, also include an ANA panel, because a functional blood chemistry analysis helps us from an integrated perspective. It gives us a bird's eye view and allows us to help you make recommendations where we will say, you need to follow up with your endocrinologist, you need to follow up with your gastroenterologist, you need to follow up with your internal specialist, as well as a dermatologist. And working with us, we will give you plans that your other physicians will not be able to give you, because that's just not what they do. A trichologist and a hair loss practitioner does that. So we take your functional blood chemistry analysis based on the CBC that you give us, and we prepare your personal treatment plan. So I just wanted to answer that question for you, that girl. Let me know if that was sufficient, if that kind of answered your question. So let me see. Okay, beautiful Texas. I hope you can join me again next week. And the Well Beauty Studio said, now that I think about it, increased blood flow, it may be a reason why the inversion method works sometimes. I'm going to have to find out more about that. I don't know anything about the inversion method. If you could send me some information, I would love to read about it, because I know as soon as I close out this Instagram, I'm probably going to forget that I even asked you that. But if you wouldn't mind, could you send me some information about the inversion method? Because I want to know what that is, since you said that works. And I love what it is that you're sharing. I'm so happy that you added to the conversation, because a lot of my ladies come and they come on the live and they either sit or they'll just share bits and pieces, and they don't really give me a lot of conversation. And I like this. So I appreciate you for being here today. And beautiful Textures, you said it makes sense. I'm glad something made sense, because that's why I'm here. I want this to make sense to someone so that they can be more informed to make better decisions. So I'm gonna hop back over here to TikTok. And Miss Sherry, you said, what do baking soda and lemon do in the early morning on an empty stomach? Okay, if you have a very acidic stomach, or you suffer with GERD, or you have upper GI problems like myself, what I recommend is probably not baking soda, because baking soda is actually very alkaline. If you're having problems with your stomach and you're having upper GI issues, what you should consider is not baking soda, because baking soda is alkaline. You want your stomach to be very low on a pH scale, like a 0 to 3. Baking soda, when mixed with water, has an alkalinity above 7. We don't want our stomachs to be above 7. Contrary to what baking soda does for everyone and everything, baking soda is a magical healing. It does so many things, but probably not for the stomach. What I want to share with you is further down the gastrointestinal line, when the food is leaving the stomach and it's going into the small intestine, your body will make its own baking soda form and version. If you don't believe me, look it up on Google. After it leaves the stomach, it will eventually include baking soda in digestion process naturally as the food goes into the small intestine. So please do not add baking soda to a drink. Try adding lemon water, lime water, or some citrus. If it works for your blood type, even try including apple cider vinegar, because those are very acidic. So you want things that are going to help your acidic stomach. It's going to help your GERD. It's going to help you feel better. If that is not working, what I would also ask you to include is digestive enzymes. Hydrochloric acid in a tablet, not just hydrochloric acid liquid, because it would burn your face off. But there is dried hydrochloric acid in tablets that you could get on from any food store, Whole Foods, any wellness center. If you need some, I could send you some. But the goal is not to create an environment where your stomach is very acidic. That's why we have all the problems we have now with digestion, because we're eating too many things that are wrong for our stomach health. Baking soda is not one of them. The body will create its own baking soda at the appropriate time. You don't include baking soda in the stomach. You include anything that's going to help you reduce the acidity in your stomach so your food can digest and help you to feel better. So you're probably having some issues with upper GI distress, which I talk about very often. So I'm a big supporter of digestive enzymes, lactase enzymes, hydrochloric acid, lemon water, lime water, apple cider vinegar, but creating acid so that you can have a pH that is normal, like 0 to 3. So I hope that helped. So, so TT Love, you said your hair, something has fallen out. It just says has fallen out. I don't know what that is. So just let me know. J. Marie, if you need any help, I'm just a tap away. All you have to do is tap this gorgeous AI face right there, and you'll find my link. All you have to do is tap the link, scroll down, and you'll find a spot where it says meet with me for 15 minutes, and I can help you with whatever you need help with. But I can't help you on this platform. There's only so much I can do. Once somebody says that they need some assistance and they hit me in my inbox, I'm just going to say, go to the link in my bio, find the 15-minute link, and that's the only way that I can serve you. I'll get the same messages all the time. How can I get your help? How can I meet with you? Hit the links in the bio. Hit the links in the bio, and I promise you I can do whatever humanly possible that I can do on my end to help you with whatever needs you're having. So I'm going to scroll down. So Ms. J. Marie, you said you're seeing a dermatologist next week. That is great. So take everything you can with a grain of salt. However, you may not get all your questions answered, but ask them while you're there so that you can get as much detail as you can. What I would also include is what I say to everyone every week is have your team, have your hairstylist, have your trichologist and your wellness professional, have your dermatologist and your endocrinologist or your nurse practitioner, because all of us are going to help you get to that bag. When I say the bag, I'm talking about having good hair health. So that's the bag I'm talking about, not the money bag, but the hair bag. So the Well Beauty said, I think it's people putting their head upside down. Okay, I'm not really sure what that meant. I'm sorry. So she also says every so often to increase blood flow, I suppose. Okay, putting your head upside down. Okay. I guess that helps because my chiropractor does that. He does the inversion therapy. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, I think I get it now because my chiropractor does that. But he does it to elongate the subluxation in the spine to release that pressure off of the spine. That's why he does it. But if that's what you were talking about, let me know because I think I get it now. So Keisha, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So everyone, I hope this helped. And that girl, you said perfect. I hope that helped everyone. I just wanted to come to just share how blood flow, lack of blood flow, low blood flow, high blood pressure, all of that has the connection with hair growth and scalp health. So I hope all of what we talked about and sat in the room to discuss today made sense, because I am committed to being here every single week. So I'm just going to drop hints of what I see in my trichology business each week. Sometimes I'll talk about blood sugar. Sometimes I'll talk about diet. Sometimes I'll talk about nutrition. Sometimes I'll talk about insulin and insulin resistance and blood flow. I'm going to talk about what I see because this is what I see week in and week out. And who I see is a large representation of what is out here in these streets, y'all. We've got to change our lives. We have to walk differently. We've got to eat better. We got to talk to someone about this mental stress we under. There's some things we got to change. And a lot of y'all sitting here, listen to me right now. Y'all got a lot of stuff y'all need to change and deal with and do differently if you want to have better hair and scalp health. One thing I'm going to say before I answer some more of these questions is insanity. Does anybody know the definition of insanity? If you know the definition of insanity, please put a little hand up, little brown hand, little hand, anything, or put them hearts up. Let me know, because I'm going to make a point before I leave. Let me know if anyone knows the definition of insanity. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, yes. So the hair revolution, and my sister said Tasha Mack. Also, that girl, yes, doing the same thing over and over. Yes. So I'm going to pin this comment, and then I'm gonna go through and answer some of these questions that were left here on TikTok. Insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, day in and day out, week in and week out, and expecting a different result. So what I want to share with y'all all is, as the owner of SBO Hair Loss in Pleasantville, New Jersey, if you're having trouble with your hair and scalp, If your scalp is burning, if it's flaking, if your hair is thin, if you're on medication, and you wonder why your hair looks the way it is, you're insane if you believe that if you make no changes at all to anything in your life, that you're going to have great hair in the next 1 to 5 years. If you do not make changes now, your hair is just going to be what it's going to be. And it may be worse. So yes, beautiful textures, if you're doing the same thing over and over, you're not exercising, you're not eating for your blood type, you're not eating fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, your insulin and your blood sugar is off the charts, you're on medication, you're not moving that lymphatic waste through your body, you're not eliminating, you're not going to the bathroom, please tell me how you think you're going to have the best hair on this earth if you're not even treating your body right. Yep, I said it. And beautiful texture said correct. Okay, so I'm going to go back here, and my sister said, okay, I'm going to answer all these. Y'all think I didn't see them. Okay. All right, so Sherry said, I'm going through a divorce and I'm under a lot of stress. What do you suggest? Well, what will happen is when you're going through a lot of stress will affect your sympathetic nervous system. It will affect your endocrine system by affecting your cortisol, your blood sugar, and your insulin levels. It will affect your hair on one side of your head, because when you're dealing with a man, your sons, your grandfather, anyone in your life that's a man will affect you on the left side of your head. So you'll have more issues show up on your scalp on the left side. What I would reasonably suggest is taking care of you as much as humanly possible, finding ways to woosah, relax yourself, taking care of your nervous system by taking your B vitamins, taking your adaptogens, taking things that are going to help your body deal with the stress. Because when it comes to divorce, every time you think of that man, you're going to get triggered. Anytime you see him, you're going to get triggered. Anytime he says something slick, you're going to get triggered. So also finding ways to just talk through some of that mental stress, because going through divorce, I am not there yet because I'm newly married. I understand that's going to be a big one. But being able to put pieces of the divorce on the shelf, instituting forgiveness, being able to deal with the divorce, taking care of you, doing some yoga, some Tai Chi, going out with your good girlfriends, taking care of you is going to help you during this period. Because what will happen is when you get very, very stressed out, it will always take out the hair in the mid scalp. When you guys have seen me do references to hair loss and the zones that are affected, one of the many zones, I see men and women all the time. When they come in, the first thing I'll say is, what has happened in your life during the past 6 months and what can you change? Of those things of the past 6 months, what is your part in it? And once I start digging and getting to it, and then I give my clients their personal treatment plan, 6 months later, this hair is filling back in. But when you dig in and when you own it, and then you do what's necessary and what you can on your end, you can find light at the end of the tunnel. But when it comes to stress and trauma, that's a big one. That's a big one. So I hope that helped. So, okay, that girl, you said, oh yes, a blessing already. I'm glad that you were able to get some information. So, HXVY hairdos. I take the mushroom coffee. That they have an immense amount of adaptogens in that coffee. But even in addition to the coffee, just taking adaptogens, that's going to help your adrenals stay supported and help your cortisol and your blood sugar and your insulin levels. So adaptogens everywhere, all the way around, are good for women over 40, women over 50, because as our estrogen and progesterone and our testosterone starts bottoming out and starts having the dance and becoming imbalanced, what saves us is supporting our adrenals. So we have to support our adrenals. I don't care what anybody has ever told you. Anybody and everybody needs to take adrenals. Adrenal health is very important when it comes to any amount of stress. When you can't sleep, include adrenals. If you're stressed out, include adrenals. So yes, my sister, HXBY Hairdos, thank you so much for just mentioning mushroom coffee, because depending on the mushroom coffee that you take, they have some have more cordyceps and more mushrooms than others. So yes. So all right, TikTok is wanting me to confirm that I'm still here. Give me a second, y'all. All right, so here on Instagram. So thank you for joining me. Thank you, MAKNZYB. Thank you for joining me today. Also, okay, TT Love, you said your message is in 2 parts. And J Marie, you said thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me all today, everybody. And Hugo77 said it's biotin good. Yes, I have done a live stream months ago, months about, and I also have a full YouTube about your question. Is biotin good? Yes, biotin is very good. Biotin is B7 and is part of the vitamin B family. Biotin is excellent. However, if you take too much, because these product manufacturers out here will have you thinking that if you take a considerable amount of biotin, you're going to save your hair. Taking an excessive amount of biotin will also throw off your endocrine levels, especially if you're about to get a blood test. Taking too much biotin is actually not good for your thyroid. So yes, biotin is good. However, biotin should not be the only tool in your tool belt. You have to get your own personal treatment plan and find out what your body needs. Will biotin be a good help? Yes, it will, but that should not be the only thing you consider when it comes to hair growth. But yes, biotin is excellent. You do not need to take 2,000 micrograms of biotin every day. No, you do not. It's actually not good for you. You can get the daily amount of biotin that you need just by eating some cucumbers. Add a fresh salad to your diet. That's all the biotin you need for today, truth be told. So let me go ahead and answer some more of these questions. So Mama Duke said, what if the doctor keeps saying your blood work is fine, but you know it ain't? All right now. Okay, the trichologist hat is off. The hood chick is in the building. Mama Dukes, does your doctor do hair? The day your doctor start doing hair, let me know. I have tons of women who say to me, my doctor says my blood work is normal, but yet you all know that something is amiss. You know something is amiss. That's why I tell everyone to include other people in your treatment plan. Just because your doctor says nothing is wrong, you know something is wrong. So then you need to do your due diligence. Go out here on these Google and these Bing streets and these Yahoo streets and say, who can help me with my hair growth? That's why you come to TikTok and you put in hair growth treatments, what to do about my thinning hair, and all of us will pop up. So I'm here to say, Mama Dukes, if you know something is off, but yet your doctor says your hair is fine, your blood work is fine, then you need to do your due diligence and reach out to someone like myself. Because I know I hear it all the time when people say, my doctor said my blood work is fine, but your blood work doesn't do hair. Your doctor isn't a trichologist. The closest you're going to get is a dermatologist. And sometimes a dermatologist may have the resources or may be able to tell you to get different blood work, but your dermatologist is not going to help you get to the root of your issue. Please let me help you guys with that. This is no shade to dermatologists, none at all. However, a dermatologist is a skin specialist, dermatologist. I am a trichologist. A trichologist helps you assess the entire body and all of your pertinent 11 body systems and how they all affect your hair. So Mama Dukes, you know I'm your sister from another mister. You know I had to do it to you, right? So I did it in love, but I want you to understand your doctor is not going to get it. That's not their role. Their role is to assess skin, cancer, lesions, erythema. They give you steroid shots. They do surgeries. They remove moles. They're really not hair experts. There are very few, like Dr. Alan Bauman in Florida. He's the truth. Then we have a black dermatologist in New York. She's the truth. There are some dermatologists, they get into this hair thing and they're specialists in hair, but not every dermatologist walks that walk because they have too much to do. They're making too much money in other areas, and sometimes hair growth and hair loss is not on their list. So whatever doctor told you that, Mama Dukes, you know something is wrong, and I just encourage you to find other resources like myself or a hair loss practitioner that can help you with the other leg of that journey. Just bring what blood work you have. We'll perform a blood chemistry analysis, and we're going to get you this information. We're going to get you to this bag. Okay? So Beautiful Texture said, I never knew that the male species affects the left side of our heads. Can you please explain? Not on this platform. That is from traditional Chinese medicine. So when you become educated in Chinese medicine, the mother will affect the right side. A male of any type, depending on how they're affecting you, affects the left side. So when we are dealing with clients in our consultation, when we get down to the root of some issues, when we see visible hair loss on one side of the head, and we further consult with our clients using Chinese medicine, we already know that a male has affected them. We already know because we're familiar with Chinese medicine. We already know that a daughter, a mother, a loss, cancer, anything from a woman affects you on the right side. That's just from Chinese medicine. Also, from reading books like this, German New Medicine, Dr. Hamer tells us about how trauma affects us and how we internalize it. Using that in concert with Chinese medicine, right side, left side. So this is not the platform that I can explain it today. That's for another live session. So let me see. Okay. So Indy make money. I hope you were able to get your question answered about lisinopril. There's nothing wrong with it. My concern is when you're on lisinopril, it will affect your hair and will affect your blood flow. My challenge is helping you work on what caused you to need to get on lisinopril, working on your body so that you don't have to take the lisinopril, because the lisinopril will eventually cause issues with lack of density and thinning hair. So TT Love said, listening to people that aren't listening to themselves. It kind of, sort of, but when we know better, we do better. So Mama Duke says sore. J. Marie said amen to this. And that girl said, my endocrinologist says my T4 is too low and my ferritin is 248 really high. So that's just letting you know that your body is having some internal issues that sometimes a functional blood chemistry analysis can point out. Once all of the facts and figures about your current CBC are put into the formulas, your functional blood chemistry analysis will spit out exactly what you need to work on, and having a personal treatment plan will help you kind of with your imbalances of why your ferritin is 248 and why it's really high. And J. Marie, I really appreciate that you said, preach this. This is the truth. I appreciate that. So J. Marie said your zone is the crown. So if you're having some issues with your crown, there are a litany of different endocrine concerns that you may have, from cortisol to estrogen, progesterone to insulin, blood sugar, to melatonin. There may be a litany of different things that may be affecting you. My goal is to, through a consultation, a full consultation, is to get down to the root of your concerns to help you with your particular zone. So Diva Den said perimenopause, upper GI, walking 3 miles a day, okra water daily has been a game changer for me. I'm so glad that you shared this with the group. Let me go ahead and pin this, because that is very helpful. A lot of my ladies take okra water. A lot. I love okra. And Beautiful Texture said, you said thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's what I learned this week in my sign language class. So yes, a lot of my ladies take okra water, and I'm glad that it works for you, because we have to balance these hormones. So J. Marie, you asked about DHT blockers. So let me share that DHT is very helpful to the body. DHT, let me just pull this up from Google. DHT is very helpful for the body. It helps with sexual health, and especially for men. So what I say as a trichologist is, don't block DHT, because DHT is very helpful in the endocrine process. Now, what has occurred is a lot of product companies have gotten rich and have influenced the consumer market by leading you to believe that DHT is a bad thing. So what DHT actually is dihydrotestosterone. It's a potent androgen derived from testosterone that is essential for developing male sex characteristics. It's influential in prostate health and body hair, but it is the primary cause of androgenetic alopecia. It binds to hair follicles, causing them to shrink and shorten the growth. So it is not such a bad thing to encounter DHT. What I always suggest everyone do is work on some of the contributors that are leading you to have hormonal hair loss. Because just because you're having hormonal hair loss does not mean you need to block DHT. DHT is important for sexual health. When you can get your personal treatment plan and find out the root causes and concerns of your particular hormonal hair loss or your hair loss, you may find that DHT is a non-factor. That is just one small thing on the totem pole. You may have digestive issues, intestinal issues. You may have some other kind of endocrine issues. You may have blood sugar issues. DHT is not really such a large thing that you must concern yourself with. You need to find out what it is that is propelling your hormonal hair loss. What is causing that miniaturization on your scalp is not solely DHT. DHT has really largely been promoted in our communities, the American consumer community, as a way to make money. DHT shouldn't always be blocked. I'm going to just go ahead and just ask Google one more thing. And just hang with me. Okay, give me a second. So my Google is coming up with it in just a sec. Give me a second. So let me see. So what I know of DHT, but I wanted to just get it from the Dr. Google. There are some key ways that DHT helps the body. It helps with fetal development, puberty and sexual development, adult male function, energy regulation, and immune system modulation. So before you guys rush to get DHT blockers, know that when you take DHT blockers, you're actually hindering different types of things that need to happen and go on in the body because you wanted to run out and get a DHT blocker because you really didn't know better. So J. Marie, I hope that answered your question. So Cherie, someone said something about okra water, and I have heard a lot of good benefits about okra water. I don't know exactly how it helps. I couldn't even make the suggestion that you can, but maybe you can converse with the young lady who said that they do okra water and send her a message. So Gracie May, thank you for joining me today. I wanted to go ahead and continue and answer some more of these questions. Hugo, you said thank you. You're welcome. That girl, you said love it. I'm happy. I want to answer the rest of these questions, and then I'm going to let y'all go because I am not going to talk you to death. So Kira Chantel, you said you're dealing with thinning in your temples more on the left side and from low ferritin. So Kira Chantel, what I know from using zone therapy, and I have a full video on YouTube about the zones of the scalp. If you're having thinning in your temples, that is letting me know a myriad of different things, because thinning in your temples are this area here right in the front. That is letting me know that you have digestive concerns that you need to find out about. Anytime you're having issues with the temples, this area here, when you're having issues with this, you need to find out how good is your digestion. Is your digestion poor? Do you have an acidic stomach? Do you have problems digesting food properly? Do you have problems with liver and gallbladder health? Because all of this here in the front, that is digestion. When you're having large concerns on the left-hand side, that lets me know that there are some issues with a male in the family that I would need to talk to you through about. And then largely endocrine issues. When you're having problems on this side, you're having problems with stress concerns. So when I say there are a myriad of things that may be concerning you right now, but largely digestive health, it could be endocrine, and it could be your sympathetic nervous system. So this is why I say your own personal treatment plan is essential for uncovering some of the issues you may be having with hair growth. So in addition to you having low ferritin, that is also probably from your digestion. When you're having problems with digestion, you will have problems with iron, minerals, and ferritin because you're not digesting your food well. So let me know how I can serve you better. And if you want to know more about the zones of the scalp, I can send you a link to the full video. So yes, that girl, I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube is in the link in the bio. All you have to do is tap my my little AI face up there, scroll down on the page. Please don't come back and say I didn't see the link for the YouTube channel. It is there, but everyone gets impatient and they don't scroll and they don't look. So the YouTube channel is way at the bottom of that link, but it is there. And when you want to learn more about the zones of the scalp and other things affecting hair growth, I have more long form videos there. So I talk more about things at great length on YouTube because you can put longer videos there. So Sherry, you said, please answer your question. What is your question, sweetheart? You know, TikTok sometimes filters questions out. Now, I didn't see your question. So J-Lo, Mary Roots is excellent. Excellent. It's an excellent, yeah, I didn't see your question. So it may have been filtered out. So if it's that concerning to you, please answer my question. Just put the question in again. People do put the questions in 2 and 3 times. I'm sorry I missed your question. So I didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't see it. So yes, Mary Roots is excellent. So J. Marie, you said thanks. You are welcome. You're welcome. And like I said, I just learned that this week because I'm taking sign language. So Lorraine, let me know how I can help you, ma'am. You said explains your thinning on both sides. The body is complex and God made us so awesomely that there are many things that lead up to why we may have thinning hair. As a trichologist, I have just been made aware of how we come into contact with having thinning hair because of the various issues we encounter in our lives. So it's not very, very simple. I always say to everyone still needs their own personal treatment plan. Once we dig in and we start talking, I figures it out. God allows me to figure it out. However, I'm not able to do that unless I get to work with you personally myself. And when I get to ask you questions and interview you and talk with you, how you doing today? How was the last 6 months of your life? What's been going on for the last 3 months? Tell me all about your surgeries, your medications. Tell me where you want to be in life. Are you there? Tell me about your mother, your father, your kids. Tell me about your job. When I get into it and I'm talking to you, I figures it out. I always figure it out. However, meet with a hair loss practitioner in your area or a trichologist. They will help you. If any of this resonated with you and helped you kind of figure out why you're having some issues with thinning hair, just get your personal treatment plan so you can put all the pieces together. I'm glad that this did help. So Ashanti said, how to increase blood flow to the scalp and stop stress shedding. One things that you would need to do is, if you want to increase blood flow, you actually have to deal with the stress. Since you said stop stress shedding, you have to deal with the stress, because when you're stressed out, you cause vasoconstriction. So when you take things like ashwagandha and adaptogens, you allow the body to better handle your stress. You allow cortisol to stop being surged and secreted into your body. When you deal with a lot of cortisol surges and you're very, very stressed out all the time, inflammation is released due to the blood sugar, high levels of blood sugar, your insulin, and possible insulin resistance. So that high amount of blood sugar, the surges, the stress, the vasoconstriction will cause your hair to be pushed from the anagen phase to the catagen and the telogen phase too quickly, too often. When this happens repeatedly, it causes that surge in that telogen effluvium. It causes the hair fall. It causes all of these empty follicles that I see on everyone's scalp every single week when they say, I'm not stressed out. I'm not stressed out. So in answer to your question, if you want to increase blood flow, you have to take something like adaptogens, and you have to mitigate and kind of work on your stress. What is at the core of your stress? Then you can stop and slow down your stress shedding. So I hope that helped. I hope that helped. And beautiful textures, I'm glad that we found each other. How about that? I'm so glad that you're here because you're helping me, because you're sharing with me that you like obviously what we're sharing today, which helps others in the community, because then Instagram will be able to share this to you the next time you're on, and you may not miss us because you're if you follow us, the live button will show up on Instagram in the future. So I'm glad you're here. So Lorraine said you have Hashimoto's. Okay, you have Hashimoto's that will affect your hair and scalp. I would applaud you to work on yourself and just find out if you can work with a dietitian or someone to help you with your diet so that you can better help your Hashimoto's, because your diet needs to be considered. You need to also support your gut, because hormonal conversion also takes place in the gut. Your diet will help you because it will help you with your blood sugar, your insulin resistance, because that also throws off thyroid health as well. There are so many things that you can do to support yourself with Hashimoto's. If there's anything that I can do, please let me know. I would love to be a resource in your hip pocket as you're dealing with your Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is not the end. You can deal with it. You just kind of have to change how you walk, change your diet, change your life, change what you expose yourself to, and you can deal with your Hashimoto's. It does not have to be the end, but I'm glad that you were transparent and shared that with me. Also, Tasha Mack, you said, okay, thanks. You just helped me too, because I do have problems with digestion. So with all of my studies and the classes that I have taken, it has helped me add to the resources that I'm able to provide, which is why I wrote that book, you guys. If you guys didn't know, all of what I just talked about, everything I talk about week in and week out, day to day, is in the book. The 5 hidden reasons your hair is thinning. So if any of this made sense to you today, all of that information is in the book. So if any of you guys want the link to the book, just tap the link in my profile and you'll find the link to the book. And you can get an e-copy or you can get a hard copy. You can also get a Eat Right for Your Type guide. It is a 7-day food guide, and it also includes snacks and salads if you're interested in eating more for your type. And if you don't want that one, you can get the hormone guide. So that comes with the hard copy or either the ebook. So I just want to say thank you. And if that made sense to you, you'll find more resources there, my sister. So Lois Austin said, how can I combat this issue? I don't know what issue you're talking about. You said, how can I combat this issue? What issue? So Ashanti Rogers, I hope I answered your question about how to increase blood flow to the scalp and stop stress shedding. You really need to work on the stress itself and add those adaptogens, if I didn't cover that already. And also, if you can, I forgot to add massage. That definitely helps because it increases blood flow to the scalp, but you have to kind of work on that stress, because if you're constantly under stress, it's going to be hard for your scalp to get proper blood flow, because your blood vessels are always constricted because you're so stressed out. So Lois Austin said, does probiotics help? It sure does. And also prebiotics, because the probiotics need food. So I still didn't see it, Sharitha. I didn't see the original question, so I'm sorry. Yeah, so Mariah said, I believe her comments are coming in slower than what we see. And I haven't been scrolling them up because I'm trying to answer them as I go. So, right, Lorraine said she likes saffron. Saffron is wonderful. That is excellent. And thank you, Miss Jasmine, for sharing the live. I appreciate it. I appreciate you so much. And I just talked about you a couple minutes ago. I don't know if you were in the room when I did. So Miss Lorraine said, check on my site. That's great. And Hair Revolution said, this live is very informative. Yes, you know, I'm trying to have you on my team, sis. I thank you. And I'm glad that you said that it's informative. If you can, let me know what you felt was informative, and I'll make sure that I include it on future lives. And Sharitha said, comment on rosemary. Now, see, I'm just seeing the comment because I didn't see anything about rosemary and onion oil. My thoughts about rosemary and onion oil. Rosemary is excellent for hair growth, but my suggestion, because I include it as a tea for my hair growth clients who like tea, I have a hair growth tea that has rosemary. Rosemary is excellent. Rosemary oil is excellent. Everything rosemary is absolutely great. You wanted me to comment on rosemary. Yes, take rosemary. Take rosemary. Put it on your skin. Eat it. Ingest it. Rosemary is excellent. Since I didn't answer your question, and I deeply apologize because TikTok does what it does. Onion oil, I would not use onion oil because I wouldn't want you to use something stinky and smelly on your skin when I would actually tell you to ingest it. Onions are rich in sulfuric acids. It's great for helping the disulfide bond because sulfur makes up the disulfide bond. So if you want to help yourself, I wouldn't suggest you use onion oil. I would suggest you eat onions. Onions are excellent. So I hope that helped. So that's the end of that. All right. So everybody, I'm going to answer the rest of these questions and then I'm going to let you go. Does anyone have any more questions for me? Because if you don't, I'm going to skate. And Tasha Mack, you said, thanks. You are welcome. Audreyology, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I just appreciate you guys for being here. You could have been anywhere else and you didn't have to be here with me today. So I'm going to dip off. If any of you guys have any more questions, just let me know. Because if not, I'm going to skate. Thank you so much, Lolo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Does anybody have any more questions for me? Thank you so much from my hearts. Thank you. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate it. Anybody have any more questions about their personal hair, scalp, or health needs? Because I wraps everything around some hair. Okay, Kiara, you said you asked one. Let me go back and see. I might have missed it. Or like I said, sometimes TikTok will it will not allow me to see all of them. I don't see one. Let me see. I don't see it. God's view of the world. See, I didn't see yours either. If you can put it through again, because TikTok filters some of these. I hope y'all know that. It's not me just not answering it, because sometimes that's what TikTok does. So Kiara and God's view of the world. If I didn't answer it, I probably didn't see it because TikTok will hide some of them. And if you can always send me a message. I will answer all my inboxes. Yeah, I didn't see it. Okay. Oh, Kiara, it says, why does my scalp hurt when I wrap it? Because you're dealing with inflammation, sis. You have to get to the core of your inflammation. If you have a sore scalp, you are inflamed. You have to reasonably look deep into yourself and understand where's the inflammation coming from. Because I wrote a book on inflammation. You can find out more about inflammation on my bio. I have a book called Inflammation. The inflammation comes from an organ. So you have to understand, you have to track down where's the inflammation coming from. Like I just spoke about a second ago, one sister said she had some thinning hair around the temples. What I was sharing with her is she may be having some digestive issues. She confirmed that she's having digestive issues. Her inflammation will be coming from her GI system, her gastrointestinal system. If you're having inflammation in your scalp, you have to reasonably look deep into yourself and figure out what organ is having some issues that needs to be supported. How am I eating? How much sugar am I eating? Am I overeating? Because when we overeat, it all breaks down into sugar to create energy. Any excess sugar that we don't use is stored as liver fat or weight, adipose fat, visceral fat. So you need to really analyze, where is this inflammation coming from? How many mochaccino lattes are you eating every day? How many bags of chips? How much bread, pasta, wheat? What are you exposing yourself to? Because you have to look at the grand landscape of why you're having inflammation, why your scalp is hurting when you wrap it. So also make sure that you don't wrap your scarf so tight, because you can also cause constriction of blood flow. Your brain needs to actually decompress at night because your lymphatic system is allowing your brain to rid itself of all of the toxins that we accumulate throughout the day. So don't wrap your scarf so tight, because your brain still needs blood flow because it is detoxing while you sleep. So if your scalp is sore, sis, you have to chisel out, where is the inflammation coming from? Well, you have to first accept the fact that you are dealing with inflammation. It could be in the wrists. You can have carpal tunnel. You can have tendonitis. You can have arthritis. You can have gout. You can have pain in the scalp. The inflammation is going to end up where it ends up. So you have to analyze that. So also, God's view of the world. Let me know if you're still here, if you're going to send me that question through. So that girl said, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much for this live. This saved me money. Going to the doctor's wasting money. No, that girl, you got to go to the doctor. You have to. You have to use all of your resources. You have to go. They may be able to share some things with you that you don't know. So still go. I would never say don't go. What I'm saying is they're limited in their scope of what they can provide you. They may not be able to provide you all of your answers. You're still going to have to search for more answers. You're going to have to use the rest of your team to get to wherever it is that you want to get to with your hair and scalp health. So don't not go. I didn't mean to say that. I always try to use a disclaimer that I'm not trying to kick their back in, but you have to get more information because they're not going to give you all the information that you need. That's all I meant. I'm so sorry. And I don't want you to not go to the doctor. You're just probably not going to get all of your questions answered. So Lolo said, I'm late. I will keep you in my feed. My scalp is itchy a lot. I understand. So beautiful textures. I don't care nothing about no holiday. I will be right here as I am committed every single week, every Sunday for the rest of the year. I was committed to being a resource to all of my ladies, all my men, anyone who needs it, anyone who want to go on live with me. I'm going to be here every single Sunday at 8 o'clock for the remainder of 2026. Unless God sees fit to not have me written in his book of life and I won't wake up. So I will be here. If you're going to be here, I'm going to be here. So that girl, you said, no, going to the wrong doctor. You need a GI doctor, not a dermatologist. Yes, if you're having some challenges with GI, still maybe go to your dermatologist if you can use it as a resource, because not all of us have health insurance and are able to go to a dermatologist. So if you can go to your GI doctor, just tell them, the concerns that you're having, and they may be able to help. But what will happen is if you don't lock down them concerns about your GI, from the stomach to the anus, if you don't get that under control, you may experience some issues with your hair and scalp. If I can be a resource at any point, at any time, please let me know. So, Kiara, thank you for my rose. And Pretty Kiki said, can you read my comment? Pretty Kiki, like I just said, TikTok is filtering out some of these comments, so I'm not even seeing a lot of these. I didn't even know you sent me one. I didn't even see it. So, I'm sorry. If you can send it to me again or send me a private message. Because the private message usually comes through right on my feed and I can see it. So that girl says you have an issue with junk foods. I get it. And so do I. I love me some Red Hot chips. I love me some Funyuns. I love onion and garlic potato chips. But I have to modify how much of those I eat, because then my scalp will wind up being real sore and it'll start hurting because I'm eating things that cause inflammation. Also, I try to stay away from a lot of junk foods, especially those with a lot of red food coloring, because then I'm not able to sleep, because some of those food colorings cause issues with your nervous system. So we all have to understand we like what we like, but we have to deal with what we deal with because of the things that we're exposing ourselves to. So you may have a problem with them junk foods, but look what it may be doing to you. So I'll just leave it there. I ain't no different than y'all. I got my own issues and I like junk food too. So I get it. But then sometimes I gotta modify it because I don't like the way my body feels when I eat it. So that girl, you said you always had stomach issues. I understand. I have stomach issues too. As a type A and type AB, a lot of my ladies and men that I deal with, when they're type A and AB, they're more prone to stomach and upper GI issues. They have more problems with liver, gallbladder health, having their gallbladders removed, having problems with GERD, having low acid stomach because of the blood type. So one of the things I suggest is make sure you eat for your type. If you would like a food guide, if you would like a little bit of help, all you got to do is dip on over to that link in the bio. I have food guides if you know your blood type. And I'm also just a phone call and a click away. So when you meet with your doctors, please, if you have the time, meet with me and we can talk about some of your hair and scalp concerns. If you have any, you may just be here because you saw this come through your For You page. If you're having any hair and scalp concerns, we have different platforms. We have very low budget platforms, we have mid-range platforms, and we have top tier platforms to help all clients with health, hair, and scalp issues. So, hi Dion May, how are you? And Miss Pretty Kiki said, how can I get my curls back from flat ironing so much? Once you damage the three major areas of the hair shaft, once they are broken, it's difficult to get that back. I know one of my hairdresser friends, he's in Philly. He always says he can turn around hair that has suffered from flat iron burns, and for the life of me, I can't remember what that is called. But once you affect the disulfide bond, the salt bond, and the hydrogen bonds, once they are broken, the disulfide bond gets broken from too much heat. Once you've done that, you really can't you can't get that back because you've already broken the bond. So heat damage. Once you have heat damage, it's difficult to get that back because the bonds are already broken. So I'm really sorry. That's not really my lane of how you can get your curls back. I'm sorry. I'm a more of a hair loss girly. So Miss Lolo said, mention the book information. All of my books, all books, because I have like about 10 books that I wrote. They're all in the bio. The GI health, the endocrine health, the vitamin health, the medication guide, the inflammation, the CCCA, the book I wrote for beauty professionals, the book I just wrote, the 5 hidden reasons your hair is thinning. All the books, they all in the bio. I promise you, if you can't find them, I will send you the link personally myself. And that girl, I'm just keeping it 100. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I got my weaknesses too. I love me some Funyuns. Yes, I do. Chips. Yes, I do. Sweets. I'm not a sweet girl. My husband loves sweets. I'm not really into sweets. I love crunchy stuff like peanuts and chips and pretzels. So that's my weakness. So you learned a little bit about me today. So Greek Warehouse, you said, what test do you ask for when you go to the doctor? It depends. So Greek Warehouse, I don't know what you're having an experience or problem with to say what tests to get when you go to the doctors. I'm not really sure what you're going through. But when clients visit me for a trichology exam, I usually recommend that they get a full CBC, that they include information about their blood sugar, all about their endocrine health, their reverse T3, T4, their fasting insulin levels, and an ANA panel if they're having issues with the immune health. So if you're trying to find out what you would need to get tested for hair issues, that's what I recommend, but I don't really know what you need help with. And again, I will say that TikTok filters a lot of these messages, so you guys may be asking me things and I don't even know you're asking them because it will filter them out. So that girl says, I need to meet with you first. Let me click on that. So the 15-minute session is clickable by the links in my bio. The 15-minute session is free. The 15-minute session is not for me to answer any questions because I won't make no money answering questions on a free call. The 15-minute session is for you to share with me what it is you're experiencing and how I can serve your needs. I can break down all the platforms for you. So by the time you tell me about you and I tell you what we offer, 15 minutes is gone. There's no time, and I do not answer pressing questions about how to help you get your hair back because I don't know anything about you. I need to learn more about you, and that's how I do it, through a full 1-hour consultation. So please, if anybody has any challenges with their hair and scalp health, hair growth, they want to restore their own hair, please meet with me for 15 minutes. That's the least I can do because that's why I'm here. So that girl, I'm here for you if you need me. So Lolo, you said thank you. You said, I just want to say you're welcome. So Miss Sanja's layer trichology, if you sent me something, did you send me something before this? Or were you telling me about the reconstructor? Because I think that's what my, the Pixie Prince, that's his name. The Pixie Prince on Instagram, he always talks about using reconstructors to help realign the missing links in the hair shaft when you have lost your natural curl. If you can, sis, if you are still listening, tap on Sandra's Layer Trichology and she has some information for you because she is a natural hair specialist. She does all things natural hair. She can help you get your curl pattern back because that's really not my lane. And beautiful textures. Thank you for telling me that you love it. I appreciate you. So Tata, you said, what if you have thyroid problems? There are a litany of things that I work through to support the thyroid when you're having thyroid problems. So when you say thyroid problems is layered. I would have to know exactly the whole of you to even help support you for your thyroid issues. Once I get to meet with you, I know more about you. I get to see your blood chemistry. Once I know more things about you, how you eat, how you sleep, how you eliminate, then I'm better able to help you with your thyroid questions. And I'm sorry that I can't be of more help, but I never try to just really give people blanket information, especially when they have thyroid problems, because thyroid is so multi-layered. There's so many things you need to support and be aware of before you can just really just say, this is what you need to do for thyroid health. So I hope that helps. If you need me, I'm only a phone call away. 15 minutes is all it takes. I tell everybody 15 minutes. If you don't have 15 minutes to invest in you, then maybe, I'm not for you, because I have to meet with everyone for 15 minutes. I don't just throw out information just to throw it out. Oh, okay, Sandra, you said your comments are being filtered. Yeah, because this has been happening to a lot of people, and they've been banging in saying, you're not answering my question because TikTok filters them out. So, yes, and I'm sorry if that's not what you were trying to convey with the reconstructor, but I know the Pixie Prince does say when you use reconstructors, it helps realign and reform those bonds in the hair. But everyone, I came on at 8:30, and I'm going to go because I have been on here for over an hour and a half. So I'm not going to talk y'all to death anymore. Again, if you want to know more about everything that I just talked about today and more, get the book. The ebook is $19.99 if you're a hardcover girly, because I loves me some hardcovers. The hardcover is $29.99, but it does come with some freebies. It does come with some other things that I'm not going to share unless you get the book. So you'll be able to have access to me indefinitely. All you have to do is hit the links in the bio. If you want the ebook or if you want the hardcover book, it is there. I have the inflammation guide, the CCA guide, the vitamin guide, the medication nutrition guide, the kitty guide, the gut health guide. All the guides are in the links in the bio. If you all need me, I am just a click away. I like to speak with everyone during a consultation. I'd rather not get into answering a whole bunch of messages day in and day out. I'd rather just speak to you directly, have time uninterrupted so I can answer all of your questions on a consultation. So if you all need me, all you have to do is go to the links in the bio. And I just want to say thank you for being here today, because you could have been doing anything else with your time. And that girl, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and beautiful textures. You are welcome. I will be here, God willing, next Sunday at 8:30. No, 8 o'clock, because my group starts at 9 o'clock. So I hope you all have a wonderful day on purpose. Peace, love, and hair grease, everybody.